My disability is called osteogenesis imperfecta, or brittle bone disease. And it basically just means that my bones are very weak. I have to be very careful and make sure I don't fall, and I'm confined to a wheelchair. I'm 30 years old. I'm currently living in the IWA transitional accommodation. On paper, ideally you're only supposed to be here for about a year and a half, and it gives you an idea of what it's like to live alone, live independently, to provide for yourself, to fend for yourself, and have your own independent social life, all those good things. But there are neighbours of mine living here who've been here 5-6 years, and they're just stuck in a deadlock with nowhere to go because there's no housing available. Well, it can be quite demeaning because I was waiting for 2 years on a waiting list to get into this apartment. Before that, I was living at home in the family home. I felt very embarrassed about that. I kind of felt like I was late to the party, like all my friends, and they were moving on, and they would ask me how I was feeling about like what I was doing with myself, and I always felt like I had to make excuses for my situation, all because I didn't have the access that they had. Ideally, in the future, in the very near future, is that I get my own council house. If I had that, I'd have stability. I'd be able to plant roots and just have the life that I feel I deserve, that we all deserve. Just look at me as a human and please don't see me as a burden. My rights and my needs are just as equal and as valuable as yours, and I won't have anybody tell me otherwise.
Irish Wheelchair Association is Ireland's leading representative organisation and service provider for people with disability. Housing continues to be a major issue for people with a disability in Ireland, with the current housing crisis meaning a further depletion in suitable, accessible housing. Brendan is one of 4,500 people with a disability currently on housing lists in Ireland, and 27% of all homeless people have a disability. The government must immediately frontload all housing action plans in order to ensure that a minimum of 7% of all social housing units are fully wheelchair accessible.